Welcome everybody to our panel featuring the one and only Brianna Knickerbocker. She is a multi-talented voice actress and a singer-songwriter. So you might recognize her as her roles as Hu Tao in the English voice scene for Genshin Impact, as well as Rem and as Tuesday in Carol and Tuesday. So many roles, so many outstanding performances. Yeah, I'll give it to you to give a rundown of what you'd like to offer, plus the special perks that you're bringing up for today.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. Well, if you guys, I'm sure you all know who I am and like the characters that I voiced and everything like that. But yeah, I've been voice acting for about like 7-ish years now. And then I've been singing, songwriting, releasing music for about 3 years. Yeah, and I'm happy. I don't know what you guys want to chat about today, but I'm very flexible. Like if you guys have a lot of questions for me, if you want to talk more about like the business side of things or what it was like to voice a certain character. So I want to make sure that you guys have a lot of chances to ask any questions that you have. So any questions that you have pop up, please just ask it in the chat. But I did want to say for Genshin, if you're a Genshin person, I'm doing 2 Hu Tao's giveaway right now. So 2 Hu Tao giveaways. Yes. And if you click on the Nightbot link, you'll see links to the Hu Tao giveaway if you want to try to win one of the 2 Hu Taos. And then I'm also doing a Starless concert on Discord on November 19th at 5 p.m. PST. So yeah, all you have to do is join the Discord to be a part of that. And that's where we will announce the 2 winners of the Hu Taos. And then also, if you've never met me in person and you haven't gotten a print before, this is like really good timing randomly. I am doing my live signing right now on Twitch. It's not finished yet. So my Streamily print store is open and that's in the Nightbot. Also, if you want to check that out and grab a print, I realized that I was doing this with you guys today. So originally I had only like my Halloween prints up, but I went ahead and I made like most of my main prints available just for you guys. So I put up like Narmaya and some Rem prints and oh my god, there's so many like Sakura and tons of there's a lot. I'm a big arts person, so I love collecting prints. But yeah, is there any questions in the chat? I'm curious like if I should just rant about random stuff or if we should go like more Q&A.
I think we're just seeing people get very excited about the Hu Tao giveaway, especially she's getting her rerun banner at the moment. So, people are really hopping on that.
I think it's like ending this month. So I really here, I'm going to like just give everybody luck to get Hu Tao and luck. Okay. You now are going to get Hu Tao. So
yeah. And then the people who want constellations too, like this is going to be super, super useful for them.
I know. There's 2 of them. So I just wanted to like try to spread the love as much as possible. I just did one giveaway with Genshin Collective and then another one. So I think this is going to be the last one. So this is like the last 2 Hu Tao giveaways until hopefully she'll get a rerun in the future. I can't imagine she wouldn't. But yeah, thanks for all the Hu Tao and Genshin love, you guys.
Yeah, so do you want to just get started with some of our, our submitted questions and then just see what comes up?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, so obviously very usual question, like how did you get into voice acting, but maybe on another layer, why anime specifically? Like, did you grow up being a huge nerd with anime video games and then you wanted to be like part of that world? Is that how it went about?
It's really interesting. So I did grow up watching anime and I did grow up playing video games, loved anime, but I never put 2 and 2 together that was a literal career that I could choose to do. And I really didn't even like think of voice acting as a thing. Like I didn't really put 2 and 2 together that there was a literal thing called voice acting. So I just knew that I was very creative and artistic. So I went to school for randomly fashion and then stumbled into acting randomly after college. And that's when I put 2 and 2 together like, oh, acting is really fun. I love acting. This is kind of like what's calling to me. And then I saw a voiceover job and that's when I was like, oh, voiceover. That exists. That's a thing. That's a profession. You can be hired to do voiceover. This is crazy. And that's when I started putting those last pieces together. Oh my God, I could be in anime. What? Like, how is that even like possible? But there were a couple people, and I remember they always said to me, anime is a very closed off. This is ingrained in my lizard brain. Anime is a closed off niche group of actors, and it's impossible to get into. So I was like, oh, well, then I can't do it. There's no way I'd be good enough to do it. It's not for me. It's a closed off niche group of actors. I'll never get to do that. Very like lots of self-limiting beliefs, and, no confidence and low self-esteem and everything. And then there was a casting director workshop with Mami Okada, who casts at Bang Zoom. And finally, the dream, the love for anime, the dream to do that was just a hair bigger than the terrifying, horrific fear of like, it's impossible, I'm dreaming too big. So I did the casting director workshop. I felt the fear and did it anyways. And then it just took off from there.
That's an amazing story. I'm sorry. I'm like, that's like, it's chills. Cause it's like, it's a success story, but it's like quietly calling to you. It's like, I like how you put it. It's like, it's just the right amount, just enough of a push to like,
get. Cause I think like when you do have, there's so many layers here. You can have like childhood trauma, and you can have self-limiting beliefs and all these things you're working against, and you're growing, and you're trying to like expand past these like things that make you feel like you're not enough. But then there's also like, you are going to feel like a lot of fear and anxiety, possibly when you're pursuing a really big dream. And the fear is never going to dissipate. You actually have to learn to take action amidst the fear. And I think that's just a muscle that you get better at the more you do it. So you just got to like rip the Band-Aid off. I say, go for your dreams, be fearless. Don't listen to the voices in your head that are like, well, I'm not good enough, because you can outgrow that. You are good enough.
That's so well said. I feel like that applies to all walks of life.
Yeah, I really want to inspire people to pursue their dreams.
It's amazing because anime is, a lot of people say that it like changed their life, or it's, really inspirational, and a lot of people brush it off. It's like, oh, it's just like a minor hobby. But, for you to say it, and like for you to have yourself and a character to like really speak to people, I think that's heavy.
Oh, it is actually. It's so funny you said that. That's like a great little segue. I really wasn't like, planning on talking about this today, but when I was at Anime Magic in oh my God, March, I think, May, I don't know when that was. It was like a couple months ago. It's a convention. I like, all these people kept coming up to me, and like, they were like really emotional stories about like how my characters got them through some really tough times and stuff like that. And I'd always had people come up to me and express things in this like emotive way, and I always like empathized with them, and always was like, wow, what? But I was always very surprised, and I never really like absorbed it. And at Anime Magic, I finally absorbed the fact that I was literally affecting people, and like literally emotionally affecting people, and like helping people. And that's literally what my dream has always been on planet Earth, and what I think my raison d'etre is, like my reason for being. So it was just like, it was very spiritual for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like, sometimes I'm just like speechless, but I'm like starstruck. But speaking of having different platforms to reach out to people, a lot of people in the chat are wondering about Starlist. Like, they want you to talk. It's early on, but people want to hear about it.
I love it. Heck yes. So yeah, so here we go. So I kind of like overcame this like self-limiting belief and this terrifying fear of voice acting and anime and video games. So going up a step and a step and a step. Well, the next one, there was another big one, and that was music. And I was like, oh, that's too big. I could never be like, dare to dream, like, oh my God, a pop star? Like, how dare I dream so big? How dare I want something that seems like so much bigger than myself. And like, I'm just this little girl, and I'm just like imperfect, and I'm sensitive and emotional, and I have like all this trauma from my childhood. Like, how I can't be this huge thing. That's impossible. And then same thing. I literally, the want, the dream, the wish for pursuing music and for creating music was it just got a little bit higher than that terrifying fear, just enough for me to take action. And I started like contacting producers on this like website and connecting. And I just kind of like just went into it just completely haphazardly, like completely chaotic. You know what? I Leroy Jenkins music. That's what I did. I just like jumped in. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was like, I'm just going to write melodies. And then there's going to be words with the melodies. Those will be lyrics. And I'm going to sing them. And I guess it's going to be a song, and I'm going to put it on Spotify. Sure. Yeah. It's just that easy. And, so yeah, I've been releasing music for 3 years now, and it's heaven on earth. I'm working on my next self-limiting beliefs to get even higher, which is like, oh, and the work is never ending.
Yeah, totally. I hear that a lot from like, like any type of artist. It's just
Yeah.
It seems like it is fulfilling. That's the most important.
Absolutely. I think it's like, oh God, I mean, I think like the greater good is that it connects me to other people, and it gives people cathartic emotional experiences. And so that's like the deeper meaning behind, creating a song. Like, oh, why is that fulfilling? Well, no, I'm like connecting with people around the world, and music is very healing for people, and it really affects people and touches people. I'm very passionate about music. So I think there is like a deeper meaning in there, but yeah, it is just really, really fulfilling, and it's very growth oriented. I think art is growth oriented, and I've always been called to growing, and I'm a very spiritual person, and I'm always working on myself and always trying to do the inner work and grow and heal and better myself. That's just like my life path, I feel like, and I'm doing it through art, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like art is very, subjective. It's not based on numbers, and I think that can be really healthy. But yeah, for all our new listeners or people who haven't really been familiar with your Starless project, how would you describe your music? In a few words. Like, I know that I listened to some of it, and obviously it's not something that defined.
Oh my God. What did you like? I want to hear what you think first.
Yeah, I guess I'll say like it's not defined by one genre. It's very ethereal. Like, it's definitely special. It's something that's in recent years has kind of gotten like a resurgence in that type of style. Yeah, like it's just,
I love that you said
it's
ethereal.
like dreamy pop kind of vibe. Like it's like almost, I know alternative is such a broad term in terms of music, but I think it can like apply to this, with the recent rise of like bedroom pop and some like slow but very, it's almost like, how like the vaporwave kind of thing with electronic influences.
You're making my dreams come true right now, because like,
it's like, it's like that. I think, was it Say Something? Is that what it was?
That's my newest song right before this last one.
Yeah, before Solo. Yeah, those are the ones that I really looked into.
Aw, thank you.
But yeah,
I'll echo what you said. Like, to describe my music, I would say exactly what Nico just said. It's definitely dream pop, and there's this, I always want there to be a like mysterious, evocative, thrilling energy that's kind of pumping through it. Yeah,
speaking of that, like, who are your main influences in music? Like, do you have any artists you look up to who, they don't have to do this specific type, but
sure.
Like, where this sound came from?
Yeah, I don't put it like with one artist, like, oh yeah, I'm like, this is my person, and I'm kind of like replicating. I think I take from, I'll give you names, but I think I listen to a lot, and then I think they cook in my head like a hot pot, and then I like put it through my brain. I'm like, well, I want to make it me. I don't try to like emulate like anybody in particular. I really am trying to like brand and be exactly this Starless vibe. But musicians that I really love on the R&B end, I love Black Atlas, I love Plaza. I love like a lot of K-pop. I love a lot of EDM and oh my gosh, electronic pop. There's so many good names. I feel like I just literally need to get my playlist out and just like
dropping the Spotify link, like everybody will start following that.
I know. Yeah, check out the Spotify link that's in the Nightbot. There's a check out my star list, like music, but I have a playlist on there. Oh my god, there's just so many good artists. I adore music. I love like Troy Boy. Oh my god, there's so many. I feel like overwhelmed. 3 Low is just amazing. Alice in Wonderland, Always Never is good on the R&B end. Oh god, there's so wow. Yeah, Clean Bandit is excellent. I love David Guetta, Don Diablo. I don't even know how to pronounce half of them, so that's the problem. So I'm like, can't say that one because I don't know how to say it. Isa's really good. Galantis. That could just literally be the rest of the hour. I will just listen. I'm gonna stop right there.
Yeah.
And Grimes. Okay, I'm done.
Grimes, actually, I thought of that too. And I was like, this sounds really familiar. And I was like,
I will take it. That is a compliment. Oh,
somebody said that in the chat too, and I was like, is she gonna say it? Like,
okay, that's like the biggest compliment I feel like I could ever get because Grimes is just the most delicious magic. She is literal magic. And if you literally are like, yeah, it kind of gave me like a Grimes vibe. I can't.
It's over.
It's over. It's over. I'm just like, I literally can't breathe. I cannot breathe. That's the biggest compliment to me. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing your work with us. But what inspires you to write? Like, I know you said you like to do melodies primarily. So do you start with melodies and then add the lyrics? I heard a lot of musicians do that. So does that apply to you too?
I don't know. Supposedly the way I work is extremely weird. I don't know. Everybody's different. The way I work is I'm really inspired by interesting note combinations. Like I like really weird notes. I think if you have a song and it's like C, E, G chords, I'm just like, I've heard that before. Like, that's not interesting to me. Like, why would like when I like a perfect example is like Sia Chandelier. Like, that's like when you first heard that, those notes, you were like, what is happening to my ears right now? These are the most weird note choices I've ever heard. And then it became this like electrifying, emotional, like explosion. And that's what I like. So I always just play around with notes. Maybe I'll hear a song and I'll hear like 2 notes and then I'll riff off of that and I'll just start singing notes based on that. Or I dream about songs and I'll have like melodies come to me in my dreams or when I'm laying down in bed. But it's always like very interesting note choices and they'll just kind of come to me. And then I get out my voice recorder on my phone and I just record the melodies and I try to play around with it for a minute. Then I email it to myself and then I get on my computer, go in Audacity and I start like listening through it and try to start putting lyrics to it. Lyrics are my weakness. I am not good at lyric writing. I try very hard to like write really beautiful, creative, interesting lyrics, but I do feel like that's kind of like I'm really good at melodies and singing. And then lyrics are kind of like, I'm always just like struggling a little bit. And it takes me multiple edits to get out of that like cliche, first draft phase of the lyrics and to get to this like really good, juicy, meaty, ooh, that's an interesting lyric. Nobody said that quite like that before. That's the one. Takes me multiple edits. But yeah, you work backwards, I guess. I think like I hear a lot of artists writing like lyrics and they write a song and then they try to do a melody or something. And then I don't have an instrument, like it's just my voice. So I literally do it all with my voice, which is supposedly extremely weird. All the producers and people I've worked with are like, where's the piano track? I'm like, oh, I can't play anything. It's just my voice. Can you do that? They're like, what note is it in? I'm like, I don't know. I just sang notes. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, whatever sounds good.
Some producers are like, okay, yes, that's
Yeah,
cool.
if it
And some
works, it
producers are like, I
works.
don't know what to do with you. I'm like, I'm sorry, then we can't work together because I don't have a piano and I can't play it.
Yeah, it just, it's so interesting to see, just hearing you talk about how it just starts with your voice, and then the final product that we get, I hear all the different layers, and it's so rich, like the whole in between process, like something magical does happen
I
there.
know. Oh,
Happy that
and
you get to experience that.
it's really interesting too, because it all, the producer, the person that's putting the music to it, I mean, equally, if not more important than the melody and the voice that I'm putting to it. I mean, like it's like you need that. But it's so funny because like I can give one song that's just my melody, my voice to a producer, and they write something, and true story, it's horrible. And I'm like, oh, this song will never work. It's not a good song. It's dead in the water. But if I give that song to another producer, they will create magic with it. And that's that producer, that's their creativity, their innovativeness, their genius, their craft. I mean, that's like the producer. They are just like, without them, I can't, there's nothing.
Yeah, it's like laying out the foundation and just seeing which types of materials work.
Yeah. And finding the right
Um,
producer for the right song.
Yeah. I was also gonna ask, has your voice acting or your work in anime and gaming somehow like influenced your music in any way, either whether that's like lyrically or stylistically? Like, what have you learned from voice acting that you apply to music?
Man, what a great question. Oh my God. I don't know. I guess maybe like, it all has to be interrelated. And, I topically want to say, no, how could they be related? What? That doesn't, I'm not seeing a relation, but I'm like, no, let me think about this. I think all art is interrelated. So, I mean, if I have to, give an educated guess what the relation could be, it's that, I'm through acting, I'm playing in imaginary worlds and I'm creating characters, and there's like a specific vocal placement for characters. So with music, I am with each song creating a different story, and I'm using my imagination to create that story. So yeah, I mean, they have to be related. It's just so funny. I never really thought of it.
Yeah, I think it's just creating a fantasy space through sound,
Yes.
what it sounds like. It's kind of a
Totally. That's a beautiful
counterintuitive
way.
thing.
That's my answer. What you
Yeah.
said. That's
um,
a way of putting it. Creating a fantasy space. I love that. Yes.
yeah. I guess I know we talked about like doing selection process for producers. I just wanted to get back to a few of the pre-submitted questions, and
Yeah, please.
yeah, like any dream roles that you'd like to take on, but for some reason haven't. I'd like to add to that too, if you don't mind. Like
Please.
what draws you to a character? Like when you see a casting call, you're just like, how do you decide if you're like, oh, I think I could take this project on, or maybe this character, I'm not really feeling her.
Yeah. So I'm always driven to very dark, emotional, heavy, powerful storylines that kind of like tug at my heartstrings, or vampires, either one. Or best case scenario, like I want like a vampire role that's like, yeah, all that stuff. Oh yes, that's the goodness. But I'm always drawn to characters like that. Sometimes if it's like I don't really know, like sometimes they don't give you a lot of information in the casting. So I don't really know like, oh, this is a dream role. So I'll like, audition for something. A good example of that is Kumoko for Soma Spider So What. I just had like a few lines to audition with, and I was like, I don't know what this show is. I've never heard of it. It's a spider, and there's just a few lines, and she's obviously coming out of a shell in these lines, and then she's surprised here. Okay. And so I did the lines in like 2 minutes, and then I sent it over, and then I booked it. And then I worked on that show for 6 months, and it was one of the single most riveting, satisfying, emotional roles I've ever done in my life, challenging, wild in every possible notion. So I could have never known that from the casting call. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm trying to think. I would love to do, I think that like one of the dreams would be, besides doing like a vampire thing, definitely zombie video game. I'm a big zombie freak. I love zombies. I mean, I don't love zombies. I hate them. You know, it's like a love-hate relationship. But and then maybe like a Ghibli movie, like a Miyazaki film. Yeah, I think I would lose my mind if I like voiced a pro tag in a Miyazaki film. Like, what do you do after that? You're like, well, I guess I'll like go retire now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I feel like that covered your question.
Yeah, it did. Also, somebody was wondering, are there any cultural nuances that couldn't be communicated through English that you remember trying to work around?
Yeah, there's all that comes up more than you would think. And it could be as little as like as little as like a piece of food that, you know, is really well, okay, I can't talk about that one.
I think I know what that one might be. Like, I feel like they put an example. I don't know.
But like as like a piece of food, like a food that's really that means a lot in Japanese culture. And it's like, how do you replace that in an anime dub into something English? That's kind of, you kind of like can't, because it is a cultural difference. So sometimes in anime, there are just some cultural things that cannot be translated exactly. So it is a little bit different. But yeah, that pops up, but it's never anything too intense that like really threatens the integrity of the storyline. It's always just something like nuanced and little, like honestly, like food or a festival or something, or yeah.
Yeah, so now that we've tackled doing, you know, cultural differences between concepts, how about people like you, the voice actors yourselves? Like, have you had a chance to meet your Japanese counterpart, and how does that work? What you guys do together? You haven't?
I don't know how that works, but I've always been curious about that. I've never gotten to meet any of the Japanese seiyus, and I don't know how that works. I feel like maybe the only opportunity would be like a certain convention. But I feel like that world is so different, so separated. Like a convention in Japan would mostly have Japanese seiyus, so I wouldn't really be invited to those. So I don't know how that would ever come about, but man, that would be really, really, really exciting.
Yeah, that'd be a great opportunity. I think as like, you know, anime is becoming more like Western, or not Westernized as in, you know, like taken over as like more accepted in the Western world and being more normalized. Yeah, like that's what I meant. Yeah, hopefully that comes about soon.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Let's see. Let's check the chat. I know you're getting a lot of love in the chat, as you should. Do anime fan notions of sub supremacy affect you and how you perceive your art? That's a very loaded question.
I try not to let it affect me. I feel like it doesn't come up as often as it may have, you know, a few or a couple decades ago. I feel like a lot of people recognize and appreciate all languages for anime, and you know, the acting quality is absolutely just like top notch now for English as well as Japanese and any other languages that they're dubbed into. Just like the level of acting abilities now is just naturally, like, you know, we get deeper into the art space and we just naturally develop more, and we're naturally exploring and getting better at it. But yeah, I really haven't encountered too many of those instances. I've definitely, you know, of course, run into some, but I try to just not pay too much attention to any negativity, and I try to concentrate my energy on the people that are my supporters and do appreciate my acting talent. And I do have to say, like, I'm never trying to say that I'm like better than the Japanese seiyu. I'm so inspired by how incredible they are as actors. And I'm just trying to live up to how good they are. Every project, I'm just like, I'm personally, as a human being, love good acting. So I just appreciate the level of like the high caliber of talent with acting there is. So I'm just trying to do my best. And I try to like just not compare myself. And I hope that, you know, maybe I bring like a little bit of a different flavor, but I honor the role.
Yeah, I think like you can't control what other people say. It's just what you react. And honestly, I think that having it in more languages is huge for accessibility. And I think that it's something that we need to take really seriously, like especially now. And I'm glad that it's getting the attention that it has. And I think we should continue doing it.
Yeah. I do have one funny story with that. So with Carol and Tuesday, when I, auditioned for that, that's a Watanabe show. He did Cowboy Bebop. It's on Netflix right now. I highly recommend it. It's a gorgeous, really cute, charismatic, engaging music anime. So I auditioned for it, and the voice in the trailer that I got to audition with, I was like, oh, that's my voice. That's what I do. That's my thing. I've freaking got this. And then I booked it. And then Netflix came to Bang Zoom, and they were like trying to figure out like how to describe my voice, because all of the other dub actors that they were trying to get for Tuesday from every other country couldn't do it. And they were like trying to figure out like, what does Brianna have? What is the thing? And how do we communicate that to other countries, because we're not getting it? Isn't that funny?
Yeah, like
I was like, really? It's just a breathy voice. It's it's literally just breathy. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Your big break comes from breathing.
I don't know. Yeah, just breathe.
You never would have thought.
I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, speaking of, like voice acting and just like the whole process of recording and making those changes and whatnot, how is the day in life in the studio? How about we do this? We could do, you can describe your day in the life for like voice acting, and then do a day in the life for music, and then we can
love it.
How those compare.
All right, let's see if I can do this here. I'm gonna like try to give you the full 9 yards. Okay, so in the day in the life of voice acting, I will have auditions come in from multiple different agents. I'll possibly have a session. So, and then I'll have NDAs to sign. I'll have after the job paperwork to sign. I'll have to put jobs, upcoming things in my calendar. I'll have to do bookkeeping and like when I get checks, and then I get checks in the mail and put that in my bookkeeping. I have to do social media posts to announce things. I have to plan social media posts for the future. I have to write down roles that I did in my Evernote, because sometimes when things come out, they don't tell you the name of the characters. So I got to remember the names of the characters. There's a lot of balancing of many different things. It's pretty wild. You end up working 15-hour days sometimes, not just because you're doing sessions for 15 hours, but because you do the session and you're in your email and you're auditioning and you're sending this paperwork back and you're answering this other thing about an interview, and then you're submitting to a convention, and then you're updating your demo. You could just nonstop work, nonstop. And it can be extremely exhausting if you don't so you're an entrepreneur, you're kind of you're boss. I almost said girl bossing, but not girl. But I'm girl bossing. So it's up to me to set those limits and okay, I need to be done working for today, and it is time for me to self-care. And then I'll end up on the couch and I'll I'm gonna watch a TV show. That's what people do, and I haven't watched a TV show. And then at 10 minutes, I'm on my phone answering emails again. It's so hard to cut it off. Music is a little bit more free because there's no sessions. It's just full out choose your own adventure. So I'm plotting immersive experiences I can give to my listeners. I'm writing music. I'm emailing my producer, Paul, about the 3-year anniversary and the set list for the concert. Then I'm oh, I should do merch for the 3-year anniversary. Oh, I should plan this. Oh, I should do a lo-fi release of this song. Let me email this person. It's just all absolute literal chaos. And it's just, I can just pick whatever I do and whatever I want to do for my career. It's crazy. It can be very overwhelming.
Yeah, it's like
Say
it
the
requires a
least.
lot of organization, it seems, but also like you have
Oh
the
my.
freedom. So it's kind of a best of both worlds, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, yeah, that was a lot. Like you are busy. You got your work cut out for you, and you know,
I'm just
respect.
gonna do both all at once. Now, what could go wrong?
Yeah, you know, it's as hard as you make it.
You can only do so much. So like some things do fall by the wayside. Some things do not get done, and that's just, that's the name of the game.
Mhm. Somebody asked here, Dan, in the chat. You've been keeping up. Good for you. And then, who's your favorite voice actor role?
Man, at one point in time, Rem is so special from ReZero for many obvious reasons. Of course. But it's like I haven't voiced her in so long that I started to really fall in love with Kumoko of Soma Spider So What. Like that's, that's a long series and that was all me and it was very intensive and it was 6 months of my life. So I'd like, how could you not you fall in love with these characters? You're like, oh my God, I'm just in love with this whole experience. So I kind of want to say like maybe it's a tie between Kumoko and Rem. But then you like, it's like your children. It's like, don't make me pick my favorite child. Cause now I'm like, well, I really loved, Rin from Catherine Full Body. And I really love Chizaki from A Lull in the Sea. Oh, and I've got to add in. And then it's just never, and then it just doesn't end. So I'm just gonna drink some water.
Yeah, it's just, whatever's in front of you, you're like, I like this. And the next,
Yeah.
like the characters I like when I watch anime or like play.
It always shifts a little bit, but I really am hoping Rem comes back. I just, oh, gosh, I miss the good Rem stuff, like the meaty, demon Rem, like crazy intense stuff. I want some more of that back. I need some of that.
But you love the supernatural stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, speaking of like what you like, what kind of personal hobbies or fandoms are you into right now?
Personal hobbies and fandoms. I really do wish that I had more time for, anime and stuff. I used to watch so much of it, but my time is just so limited now. It's really kind of sad. But I am finally catching up on the newest season of The Walking Dead. No spoilers, please. I've followed Walking Dead since the very, very beginning. I told you, I'm from Romero country, okay? I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I am a zombie girl through and through. That's my monster of choice. So when they made Walking Dead, I was like, oh, this is my show. They made me a TV show. They made my dream TV show. That was like, oh my God. So Walking Dead is very, very, very precious to me. So I'm finally watching that finally. And then playing Back for Blood. I know. Who would have thunk? More zombies. I know. I'm so dimensional.
Yeah. No, that's I know a lot of people shy away from that, but you're like, this is me.
I like what I like, and yeah, it is what it is. And I'm trying to think what else. I feel like there's a couple more things. I don't know. It's kind of funny. I think I'm trying to create my own. I've always loved immersive theater. So for Starless, I don't really know what I'm doing, and I'm kind of slinging spaghetti at the wall as of now for it, but it's with good intentions and with a good heart. I'm trying to create my own experience and my own thing. I don't know what it'll end up being. Okay, let's manifest it. All right, it's terrifying, but let's do it. Starless anime.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, I've seen that as a
anime.
recent trend in a lot of musicians. They release the album and do a movie with it. So I was gonna ask you, have you ever thought about doing a concept album and then doing the anime to accompany it? Almost like not really like a series of music videos, but like almost like a cohesive film, and then have the music as like the soundtrack, that kind of form.
I would just, here we are. I'm just this little person in LA. And like, how dare I dream so big? Like, oh my God. But yes, that's like, that's kind of like, yes, that would be amazing. One day, I'm gonna do
One
it.
day we'll get there. You have a lot of time, so
Yeah. Next year, I'm planning a lot of things. Like I have an artist set aside that's going to do a music video for me, and I do want to create like a music film that is kind of like what Weekend has done or Tuvlo has done, where it's kind of it's not like a musical, but it's like you said, it's like a film, and the music is interspersed in it. But yeah, like Starless anime, that would be amazing. I don't know. There's just something there. Like I want to create something bigger with Starless and kind of merge the two worlds of like acting and singing together and songwriting. Yeah. So it's like all the stuff I love in like one magical, crazy thing. That would be wild.
How music has become so cinematic lately. Like I think the opposite's up.
I know.
There is an interesting request in this question.
That's such a like.
I don't want to scare you, but it's
okay.
Maybe context first. So
okay.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask like leading up to this. So like which platform is your favorite for interacting with your fans?
Oh, I do love TikTok, but every like 3 weeks they like to shadow ban me, and I'm like, I haven't done anything, and I'm like, TikTok, what did I do to you?
They're preying on our downfall. That's what they're doing.
What?
They're preying on our downfall. Like they just see us being successful like for one video, and they're like, no.
I know. So like I do like TikTok, but the shadow banning thing is just like killing me. But other than that, I guess Instagram.
Okay.
You know what? I should say Twitch. Twitch is like a social thing. Twitch is better. Yeah. Twitch is great because I can actually like chat with people, which is nice.
It's like live and interactive.
Yeah.
Good thing you said TikTok, because then I would have had like my job cut out for me to just explain what this is. So yeah, have you heard of I'm sorry. It's like, I don't know why I'm getting embarrassed asking this. I'm just like,
or where are we going here?
So do you know the Mets meme about the Genshin Impact voice actors?
Wait, which one?
So we let like baby it's the Mets.
No, I do not know this one. Okay.
You don't know that? Okay. Well, I shall explain, because it's like like my job around like to explain memes to my friends. So I would love to bring that.
I love it.
I think it started a long time ago. It
started with Kingpin.
Yeah, I started with Kingpin from Into the Spider-Verse, and then I think the earliest one, somebody in the chat correct me if I'm wrong, but it was resurfaced by this fan who likes to do child voice actor impressions. And so I don't know, like maybe if you want to Google it, it's like
I was gonna say, like, should I
like on TikTok, I think it's just like, and then it's like a lead up, so the character says something like intense, and then it's like it's not about the muddy Spider-Man, and then it's like it's actually about the Mets. Let's go baby, let's go Mets. And it's like the whole like baseball thing, and then they edit the character in the baseball field with it's like really like low budget like shoddy editing. So then they're just like stick it's like the most unexpected thing. I can't explain it. I feel like you just have to see it.
No, yeah. I'm scrolling through. Obviously, I'm not gonna like read. It's like a freaking novella about this trend. It's like, okay, well,
I know your meme.
I need the TLDR right now. I can't like read this whole thing.
But yeah, if you find like a TikTok of
okay.
Somebody requested that you do it for Hootao if you feel comfortable doing so.
Oh yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen right now, just because I need to. You know what? I will do it on TikTok and I will post it on TikTok.
Okay, let's go.
Perfect.
TikTok.
That's it. That's the way to go. I'm gonna write it down right now on my to-do list.
Oh my gosh, thank you. The community will thank you.
There we go. I love it.
I think somebody put a compilation in the chat. I think
really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna say, oh wait. Yeah. I like
Oh my gosh, it's a child one, the first one too.
Okay, this is amazing. I'm gonna save this link and watch it later. Okay, great.
Yeah. So yeah,
Love
I
it.
just wanted to sneak that in there and see.
Perfect. I love it. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Any other TikTok meme requests? Please.
Yeah.
Let me know.
If you don't
I'll
want a
take down
meme
list.
to be put up, now is your chance.
I love it.
Yeah, but on that note, I guess like any advice to people who want to get into voice acting other than doing fan impressions of memes?
Well, voice acting is acting. So honestly, just, anything you can do to improve your acting skills or your imagination building skills is going to be just so imperative. So that could include, acting classes, improv classes. And I also think reading like, fantasy novels and stuff like that. And then also if you are so inclined to like actually write your own stories or anything like that, that would just be pivotal because that helps you world build, use your imagination to go into like an imaginary world. So that'll all be like perfect for voice acting.
Yeah. And then about like when you're in the experience, I guess, I don't know, you know how there's things called like method acting for, like in person.
Yes.
You guys do something like that? Like, how do you get into character and
Yeah, that's a
really get
fantastic
into
question. Yeah. Thank you for asking that. So yeah, some people I think are method actors. I am not. The style of acting that I do is called imagination-based acting. I personally find it to be the most honest and present and stable form of acting. I think with method, you kind of have to call upon past experiences, and I think that can be kind of wobbly. Like one moment, this could really trigger you crying, and then the next it's like, oh, I kind of lost it. But if you're using your imagination and you're present and you're just like, so here's what I tell people. It's like and this is like, I learned this from like Diana Castle, who's an acting teacher in LA. It's like it's first person. So we'll use Rem and ReZero. So I would say I am Rem. I am talking to Subaru, not she. She means there's separation. I have to imagine myself as Rem in this world with Subaru. And it's like 98% of me is imagining that I am Rem, thinks I'm Rem. 2% of me knows that I'm not Rem and I'm not crazy. But it's like you kind of like have to delve into it. And like when you use imagination-based acting, it's just so honest and pure because it's just you're creating through your imagination that this is. And that's what you're supposed to be pretending that it is real. So it's like, to me, it's just so honest,
How do you, so you do that. Is there like a way to like kind of, get back out of it? Or do you just, you're like, okay, it's a day.
It's very transient. So it's not like I'm hypnotized and I'm like, oh my God, I'm Rem and I don't know how to get out of this. It's very transient. So you just kind of like flow into it and come out of it, flow into it and come out of it. It's not like this, like, altered state where it's like difficult to come out of, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Has this particular method, it doesn't actually have to be this specifically, but I was wondering, has this, method ever given birth, to some funny moments in the studio? You're just like, sometimes you're like, maybe I'm having a little trouble like embracing it.
Oh, absolutely. There's so many. And there are some moments where, I did end up like, it was just a very weird, hard day, so to speak. And, I did end up going method for like one moment on one line that I was really emotional because it was just there and it needed to come out. So I was like, okay, we're just going to think about this thing here. But yeah, like sometimes like, I'm just like, I don't understand why I'm doing this. I don't understand, and it's up to the director to kind of give me more clues like, oh, well, this happened with this character earlier. And like, you're feeling this because of that. I'm like, oh, okay, well, then that makes more sense. That helps me kind of get into it more. And it can also be the balance of doing the technicalities that makes it really hard. For anime voice acting, you're matching lip flaps. So it's very, very, very technically difficult, especially because I voice so many breathy characters. So I'm out of oxygen so quickly. like when we were doing the confession scene for Rem and ReZero, each loop, everything's like kind of drawn out, like, or separated into loops. And whoever wrote it, I mean, it makes sense. They're speaking in paragraphs, but a loop was like this whole paragraph of dialogue. And I was like, I can't get through this. I can't. So like we would have to separate each loop into like 5 different loops because I was out of oxygen. So I'm like, how am I supposed to like be feeling this stuff about Subaru and like in this moment when I can't even breathe and I can't even get through the line, It's like, it was very hard balancing it.
Yeah, like speaking of that, how do you specifically take care of your voice and your body after a session? Like I know, like singers have their throat coat tea, or they have their little, I know like on The Voice they featured Ariana Grande having her little kit.
Oh, I love that kit. I'm
yeah,
like,
so
can I buy that kit? Can she just like make an Etsy? Can I just, it looks so
just like
cute.
All ready to go.
Yeah, I would buy one of those. That looks so cute. I want like a little lunchbox kit from Ariana Grande.
Yeah. So
I just drink, a ton of water. I will admit, that's kind of another weakness of mine. I'm not the best at taking care of my voice. There are a lot of times where I am speaking from my throat and I lose my voice a lot. I'm not perfect. I'm an imperfect person and I'm not good at taking care of my voice. And I don't always use my voice properly. And that's just something that, I need to look at and work on. But yeah, throat coat tea is really, really good. Vocal rest is so important, and just lots and lots of hydration and warming up your voice before sessions is important. Knowing how your voice operates, and so if I have a session, I try not to drink the night before because alcohol just like dehydrates you like crazy. Little, just things like that.
Yeah. I was also gonna ask like one final question, or not final, starting to wrap
Sure.
before we, have more fan-based stuff, engagements later. But what moment are you most grateful for that voice acting or music has allowed you to experience?
Oh my God. I like literally got emotional with you saying that. I don't know. I don't know why I got so emotional. I think it's just, oh my God. I think it's just everything, like getting to connect with everybody so much, and like everybody supporting me so much, and like listening to my music and enjoying my music, and just I get to be like my inner child is just screaming. Like she's like, are you kidding me? Like I'm like a kid in a toy store. Like this is the best life ever. Like I'm just so happy. Like I get to be characters in anime.
Yeah.
I get to be characters in video games. Like I mean, no, I don't book everything, and no, I usually don't book the roles that I want, and yeah, I have sad days and everything like that, and yeah, it's really, really difficult with all the rejection, but you have to think about like all the good stuff. Like I get to be these dream characters, and I get to sing and make music, and I can make a music video if I want to. Like the world is my oyster. Like I just can do anything, and it's because of my listeners, my fans, my supporters, and I just feel like we're all in it together, and it's like this crazy, beautiful connective tissue. And in my dream, like I said, I love good acting, and I always watch TV shows and movies to feel things. So like I'm watching good actors, and I cry and I feel things, and I get like emotional and excited and all these crazy emotions. And the fact that I get to do that for other people is literally a dream come true. And I'm literally living a dream. And you guys don't understand how much I love you and appreciate your support. So,
yeah, thank you for that. I guess speaking, like maybe this will be just the last question based on community. Obviously, fans, your listeners are very important. Have you built a support system within your voice actor community, whether that's like as mentors or just as friends? People you look up to, and you're like suddenly like right next to them and hanging out with them. Like, there's so many.
Absolutely.
This, but
yeah. I definitely, like I'm not friends with like every single person in the voice acting industry, but everybody is such like kind-hearted, good people. So I feel like even if I just reached out to somebody, they'd be like, oh yeah, let's hang out. But I absolutely do have a core friend group that are other voice actors and things like that, that are, kind of like the best friends, the ones that are kind of in my innermost circle, that I just love and adore so much. So I feel very, very lucky to be a part of this community because I have found some of my best friends in the universe in it.
That's great for you. Like I'm just, we're just living vicariously through you. Like,
oh my God.
Yeah,
I want to inspire you to go like dream big and bigger and then even bigger and feel the fear and freaking do it anyways.
Yeah, like you're living our dreams. Most of us can just like daydream that we are an anime character on the side, but you're actually doing it. But yeah, it's in terms of questions, like I think that's all we have time for. But we have other requests if you don't mind, and then I can give you a chance to do your shout outs.
Sure, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so thank you so much for giving us this like really human, just very humble view into your life and into like the whole industry. I think there's a huge separation between fans and voice actors. A lot of people tend to forget that, but like seeing here, it's like, it's like casually talking to somebody.
Yeah, and thank you so much.
You're
for
so
having
insightful.
me.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
And I think if you want to say some voice lines, I know somebody wanted to hear some Hu Tao lines.
Oh, okay. I can't
that.
do any like voice line requests today, just because I have a really full week of voice acting. So I've got to I'm just gonna
like rest
no
up.
voice line requests today. But if you do have requests, my Q&A is open on my TikTok. So just ask me in there and then I'll do a video with your question or your request.
Yeah, other than that, the floor is yours for social promo and whatever you want to close off with.
Awesome. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I love you all very, very, very much. The Nightbot link has every link you could ever possibly dream up in it. If you want to check me out on Twitch, I am streaming at 5 p.m. PST today for a release party for my song that just came out on Friday. And I'm going to premiere the lyric video, which is like banging. It's so good. And then I'm going to announce my next song that's coming out and I'll give you a sneak peek of it. And then we'll play some Genshin. And then, I don't know, we're going to go ham and we'll watch a horror movie too. I'm going to watch horror movies all the way through December. BTW. Christmas can just find somebody else. Cause yeah, I'm in it with Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween is every day for us.
Yeah, exactly. That's like, I can't, I got my jack-o'-lantern up. And then I'm going to be, 2 Hu Tao's giveaway is linked in there also. So check that out if you want to enter. And the winners of the giveaway, and also if you don't enter the giveaway, don't worry about that. The Starless concert will be November 19th at 5 p.m. PST. That's going to be really, 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 really sick. It's completely free. Please come and chill out and listen to some good music and whatnot. And then if you want to grab a print, the link is in there also for my Streamly print store. I made everything live for you guys. But yeah, I think that's it. But like all my social links are in there. So anything you could try to search for, it's literally all in that link. And thank you guys so much. And please stay in touch. Come say hi on Twitch.
Yeah, before we shut off the stream real quick, stream mods, there are people who just logged on. I think just for you guys who just came here, the playback is available. Don't worry if you're showing up late. We still have a lot more activities and panels coming up. There's also stuff on Twitch, so if you guys want to do that. So yeah, don't worry if you just showed up. You can always rewatch it. And I believe, if I'm not wrong, it is public, so you can go back and watch it.
Awesome.
Thank you to all of you who came and stopped by, and hope you're enjoying the rest of Anime Destiny.